In the city of Axiom, there were no surprises. The morning rain was always predicted to the exact droplet. The price of apples was set a year in advance, and every citizen's day was scheduled down to the minute. All of this perfect order flowed from the great abacus, a colossal instrument that filled the city's central chamber. Its 100 polished rods represented the city's functions, and its millions of beads, moved by an unseen, silent force, clicked and clacked in a constant, soothing rhythm of absolute predictability. Jin's job was to maintain this perfection. As an abacus weaver, she was a master of order. With silent, meticulous movements, she would replace worn rods and polish the smooth wooden beads, ensuring nothing ever interrupted the city's perfect calculations. But lately, something was. She was the first to see them. Tiny, shimmering knots of multicolored thread were appearing on the abacus rods. They were beautiful, chaotic, and utterly illogical. She called them the tangles. When a bead slid down a rod and hit a tangle, it would stick for a moment, throwing off the calculation by a fraction of a second. The consequences were small at first. A baker's loaf would rise a little higher than expected. A musician would accidentally play a surprising, beautiful new note. A patch of flowers would bloom in a color no one had ever seen before. These were moments of unexpected joy, but the city's leaders, the calculators, did not see it that way.
"These are imperfections," the chief calculator declared, his face a mask of stern disapproval as he pointed a long, bony finger at a tangle. "They are knots of chaos in our perfect system. Weaver Jin, your task is to remove them. Cut them out." Jin obeyed. With a tiny, sharp pair of silver scissors, she snipped away the tangles. But a strange thing happened. With every knot she removed, a little bit of color seemed to drain from the city. The surprisingly fluffy bread became just bread. The new musical note was forgotten. The vibrant, unexpected flowers faded to a predictable gray. The city was becoming more orderly, but it was also becoming profoundly dull.
One day, while cleaning beneath the great abacus, Jin found a small, strange creature. It looked like a beetle, but its shell was a perfect six-sided cube with a different number of spots on each face. It skittered across the floor not in a straight line, but in a series of completely random, unpredictable zigs and zags. She named it Dice. As she watched Dice tumble, she noticed it was drawn to the tangles. It would crawl up a rod, nuzzle a shimmering knot, and the knot would glow a little brighter. She realized then that the tangles weren't a flaw. They were something else entirely. They were the physical form of chance, of luck, of all the happy accidents and brilliant ideas that could never be predicted. And cutting them out was killing the city's spirit. Jin went to the oldest archives, to the dusty scrolls that were written before the great abacus was built. There, guided by Dice's random tumbles, she found a legend. It spoke of the Spindle of Spontaneity, a mythical tool that didn't cut the threads of chance, but wove them. The legend said it was hidden where the calculations end. With Dice skittering ahead, Jin journeyed to the very edge of the city, to a place no one ever visited, the Great Wall where the final rods of the great abacus stood. These rods, which were meant to calculate the distant future, were completely covered in a magnificent, chaotic tapestry of tangles. It was a place of pure, beautiful unpredictability. In the center of the chaos, resting on a pedestal, was the Spindle of Spontaneity. It was a simple, elegant weaver spindle, carved from a wood that seemed to shift in color and pattern. Just as Jin reached for it, the chief calculator and his guards arrived. "I knew you were a sympathizer of chaos," he boomed. "Seize her! Destroy this mess!" "No, wait," Jin teeted, holding up the spindle. "You don't understand. A world without surprises is a world that isn't truly alive." Before the guards could grab her, she turned back to the wall of tangles. Her whole life she had been trained to smooth things out, to make them orderly, but now she did the opposite. She didn't cut a single thread. Instead, using the spindle, she gathered the loose, chaotic ends of the tangles. She didn't try to untie the knots. She began to weave them together, creating a beautiful, unpredictable, and incredibly strong braid of pure chance. She then took this braid and, with a deep breath, wove it directly into the main rods of the great abacus. A shudder ran through the colossal machine. The steady, monotonous click-clack faltered. For a moment, there was silence. Then it began again, but the rhythm was different. It was livelier, more complex. It had a swing to it. The beads would slide, hesitate, and then rush forward, as if making a joyful decision. The abacus wasn't just calculating anymore. It was improvising. A warm, colorful breeze swept through the city of Axiom. The gray flowers burst back into their impossible colors. The baker's loaves rose into wonderfully surprising new shapes. The air filled with the sound of musicians experimenting with new, uncalculated melodies. The people of the city looked up from their schedules, a genuine, unplanned smile spreading across their faces for the first time in years. The chief calculator stared, his rigid posture softening. A small, six-sided beetle, dice, tumbled randomly across his perfect shoe, and he found himself chuckling. It was a sound he hadn't made in a very long time. He looked at Jin, not with anger, but with a newfound respect. "It seems," he said, a hint of a smile in his voice, "that my calculations were incomplete." Jin became the city's first true Abacus Weaver. Her job no longer just to maintain order, but to beautifully and skillfully weave the chaotic, wonderful threads of chance into the fabric of daily life. She had taught the city of Axiom that while order provides a foundation, it is the tangles, the surprises, the happy accidents, the beautiful, unpredictable moments that make a life truly worth living.